Alright folks, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. Yeah, let's fire off some more Ixalan. Did a couple of Iquari drafts, but some of them were pretty disappointing, especially the Black-White Humans deck. If you don't have enough of the payoff cards, or the Signpost the Black-White Uncommon. But without further ado, let's kind of go over this throwback draft for some of you who are kind of new and unfamiliar with this, or some of you who are just revisiting the set again. Let's try to refresh our memories and have a nice fun draft and some games. So let's begin. And pack one, pick one. Were we lucky to open? J-Light Ranger for the Explore deck. It's still a nice Merfolk to play, but double green is definitely not something you want to cast too much of. Let's just say it hits a land. Well, it's a 2/1. That's pretty bad. If it manages to get counter, a 3-mana 3/2 is okay. I mean, if black green was more supported in this set, J-Light Ranger would be an excellent card. But unfortunately, Rivals just gave up on black green, so this Explorer mechanic doesn't go any further, and is only best left in the original Ixalan. So I don't think it's a first pickable card. There's Sky March Aspirant as an excellent vampire. If you are just as a nice 1-drop that gains flying later in the game. So, cards like these are excellent since they are you can play them early, and then in the late game they actually have value. Most 2-drops get blanked pretty easily, and 1-drops, and they're no longer relevant in the late game. But Sky Marcher Aspirant is definitely not one of those. So it's a great card if you're in vampires already, but I don't see it as a first pick. What's first pickable is a Raging Regisaur. Even though it is in 2 colors, it's quite powerful. And I haven't drafted a red-green Stompy Dino deck yet. It's a powerful Enrage enabler. It can take out those pesky 1 toughness creatures that are flying, like this Aspirant, of course, and this Kitesail Corsair. So Raging Regisaur is definitely a first pickable card, a pretty powerful one that you don't mind taking and hedging towards like a red-green Dino deck. Looking at the commons, Legion Conquistadors are a thing if you get in multiple copies. Like if you get 5 copies of them, they can usually steal the game. Kitesail Corsair is an excellent 2-drop, a nice raid enabler. Still fine in a Merfolk deck, even though it's not Merfolk since it has evasion. Crashing Tides is good in Merfolk, but fine since it's still a bounce spell that draws you a card. There's also Hunt the Weak, which is great in the Green Dinosaur decks. You're hoping these kind of wheel in the Green Dinosaurs decks since it's a nice fight spell, and bodies tend to be pretty big for the Dino decks. So yeah, in terms of sheer power level, I think it's just a Raging Regisaur. It is again a gold-colored card, but a very powerful one. One that you don't mind having in your red-green Dino decks. Otherwise, if this wasn't in the pack, it would be kind of interesting to debate between Sky Marcher Aspirant and the Kitesail Corsair. Personally, I would probably take, I don't know, it would be hard, really hard. Maybe the Sky March Aspirant just because it's cheaper. But the Kitesail Corsair is flexible, playable in the Merfolk deck, and is a nice raid enabler in blue-black pirates or red-blue pirates. So maybe the Kitesail Corsair offers us a little bit more flexibility. But we'll have fun. Let's draft a nice red-green Dino deck. And what do we have? Ooh, that's a nice one. Forerunner of the Empire can help us search the Raging Regisaur, and it's also a nice enrage enabler. Whenever a Dino enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature. And yeah, this ability is definitely very powerful against small token decks, since and most of the cards and most of the tribes in this set anyway, since they have a lot of 1 toughness flying around. Sometimes you can pick up like a Crested Herd Caller and play it for 5 mana and trigger this twice. Or you can play 2 dinos and hopefully one of yours don't end up dying. So this seems like a really clear pickup after the Raging Regisaur. Other great cards would be like Siren Reaver, Forerunner of the Coalition for the aggressive black pirate decks. Best common is like Waterknot as a good removal spell. If we took the Kitesail Corsair, I think we would be still looking at the Siren Reaver as an excellent evasive threat. Keeps us in blue, and also a nice flyer that's enabled by raid. Forerunner is also good, but you need to be the heavily aggressive Pirates deck. It's not going to be great in every Pirates deck. It's best in like black-red. Not great in blue-black since you tend to be more controlling. So, and if we took the Vampire, I think we'd be looking at the Martyr Dusk, which isn't all that amazing and impressive, but happy I took the Raging Regisaur and we got paid off here. Forerunner of the Forerunner of the Empire is excellent. So yeah, let's have some fun. Ooh, charging Tuskodon. Ooh, definitely getting rewarded for the dinos. Nice Curve Topper and a dinosaur to look up. And what's it? 5-mana 4/4 isn't impressive, but the fact that this can trample over and deal double damage to the player is definitely a scary threat. So you might combine this with like some first strike tricks like the Buccaneer's Bravado, if necessary, to make this very hard to deal with. I think we would be looking at the Slippery Scoundrel if we took the blue route with the Kitesail Corsair, and we would have started a nice aggressive blue Pirates deck, preferably blue-red, but sometimes blue-black is okay if you pick up some powerful black cards. But Tuskodon seems like the clear pick. Wouldn't mind a Horncrest in this deck as well, since if we're looking to play dinos, having this with haste is pretty strong. But Tuskodon is looking like it fits well with what we currently have. This pack is a bit of a blank. There's a Brazen Freebooter. Is there any chance I'm moving into another try? Probably not. I think this is all in for dinos. I guess sometimes you end up splashing white, so maybe we can take like a Sun-Crested Pterodon. I mean, both these cards are not going to be played in red-black Pirates, and they're both all in red-green. Brazen Freebooter is just a filler 4-drop. I mean, we do have 2 4-drops already, so we don't need to have like a mediocre pirate just to help us ramp a bit. We're not playing Merfolk. The best card in this pack is like Resplendent Griffin, so this could have been a consideration with the current pirates that we currently have, and we could have set up a nice, fun blue-white Flyers Ascend deck. But I don't mind taking the Pterodon here since it is a dinosaur. Don't intend on splashing it, but I don't really see any alternate options. This isn't a good. These first 3 picks aren't great in blue-red Pirates or red-black Pirates. So we'll take a Sun-Crested Pterodon in case we magically end up splashing it. Could take a Goblin Trailblazer as a mediocre 2-drop. I rather prefer Dino at the end of the day, though. Yeah, this pack is also dead. Maybe I could take a Traveler's Amulet in case I do end up splashing some white. Like if I open up, like, I don't know, a Sakama or something. The broken mythic Naya Naya mythic dinosaur. I could use some splashing to fix. Trailblazer doesn't look exciting. It's pretty bad against with our Forerunner of the Legion of the Empire. Sorry, since it dies once the Enrage ability is triggered when Dino enters the battlefield. So yeah, a bunch of okay vampires as well. Haven't seen anything too impressive outside of what we currently have, so we'll take the Traveler's Amulet. Here, there's an overgrown Armasaur, which is fine. We could use a Knight of the Stampede, maybe, as a way to ramp our dinos. I wouldn't mind a Knight of the Stampede. Red-green, though, I don't know how often it is trying to ramp. There's also Thunderherd Migration. What's this? I guess it's a way to splash in the green dino decks, too. The one that's really looking to splash is green-white, I think, since it's looking to be a little bit more rampy. Right now, our curve isn't amazingly high, but I think the Knight of Stampede has a lot more upside than the Overgrown Armasaur, which is a fine card. It gets enraged and makes a 1/1 Sapperling token. It has some synergy with the Forerunner of the Empire. I mean, we could still take it here, but there's a chance we could open up a pretty bomb dino that we're looking to ramp, and Knight of Stampede gets the job done. And it's a decent blocker, so we'll take it. Could take a Hardy Veteran as a fine 2-drop since it can survive the Enrage from the Forerunner of the Empire. Too bad there's no Explore mechanic in this, and they gave up on it, so easy Hardy Veteran. Ooh, that's a Relentless Raptor as a fine 2-drop in the red-white dino. I guess we could have been red-white dinos, actually. Should consider that. but I'll take it here. Otherwise, I don't really want to play a Gilt Grove Stalker. I mean, I don't think there was anything amazing in white either. I mean, there was like, I don't know, a Sky March or Aspirant. I mean, not the Sky March or Aspirant, the Vampires. Didn't see any Luminous Bonds. I mean, I guess with the Sun-Crested Pterodon, we could still be in red-white. So the Sun-Crested Pterodon was the right pick. I almost forgot the red-white Dino deck. We'll take the Relentless Raptor and see what happens. Now, Colossal Dreadball is a nice curve topper. So, I mean, I think I'm better off in red-green Dinos from what I'm looking at. So I think I'll take the Colossal Dreadmaw just as a nice curve topper that can beat down hard. And it's nice to go turn 4 Knight of Stampede into Colossal Dreadmaw. Could take the Raska Frillback as a filler dinosaur, but the 3 toughness is pretty bad. We currently don't have a 3-drop, so as a consideration. Tilonani's Crown can be a decent Enrage enabler that also pumps up a dinosaur. We currently only have, like, no creatures that want to be enraged currently. So I don't know if we need the Tilonali's Crown that badly. We already have a Forerunner that enables it, and the Raging Regisaur, so I think I'll take a filler 3-drop here. I have nothing down here at 3, and it does trade down, but it's still a 3-drop we can play. Could take another one. There's a Stampeding Horncrest. Maybe I can just take that. Don't mind Stampeding Horncrest. Again, if we're looking to play like a heavy Dino deck, having like a 5-mana 4/4 haste is pretty decent. I think it's enough better than the Raska Frillback that we just take it here. Could diversify a bit. Alright, so we got start with a nice red-green Dino deck. It's looking a little bit better. Obviously better than the red-white Dinos. Since I didn't see too many amazing white cards. There's also Plummet that we can even main deck, since we could be a little bit soft to flyers here. Which I wouldn't mind as well, since Dinos don't really deal with flying that well. Unless we grab the 4-mana 3/4 with Reach. Forgot the name of it. Okay, any Dino payoffs? No, but I would love a Ravenous Chupacabra. Unfortunately, we're not in the color. Could take a Mutiny. Could take another Frillback. Mutiny isn't amazing. Kind of like a bad removal spell. I mean, it does keep their largest powered creature, which isn't preferable since it can usually trade with one of our creatures anyways. I could take a Luminous Bonds here. Maybe we end up like splashing white with the Traveler's Amulet. And maybe we end up splashing white for the Sun-Crested Pterodon. Otherwise, the Frillback isn't a very exciting first pick. We'll take a Luminous Bonds. Paladin of Tonant is not amazing. This is a fine Merfolk, but not for us. Snubhorn Sentry would be fine in the red-white Dino deck. Guess there's a Overgrown Armasaur now, and a Knight of the Stampede, or a Tilonali's Crown, which can be fine. I guess I don't mind like the Overgrown Armasaur now, given that we could like get all the 5-drop dinos and maybe pick up like a Knight later. Or maybe the Knight is more important, and we can wheel one of these since they're not a high pick. And I don't really want to pick a 1-drop white dino to splash. We have some good green already. That's the reason why I don't want to move into white-red dinos. Swift Warden could also be fine as like a 3-mana 3/3 flash creature, but it doesn't have any synergy with our deck. So I'll take a Knight of Stampede. Could be pretty powerful if we can ramp out all these dinos. Now I guess I can take another Hardy Veteran as a good 2-drop. There's also another Swagging Courser we can take. Overall, this pack hasn't been too kind to us. Ooh, Strength of the pack, don't mind if I do. There's also Pirate's Pillage that can help us prevent Flood, but Strength of the pack is a nice 6-drop we can use, especially if we're looking to play all these dinos. Just giving them 2+1/+1 counters can be game ending. So I'll take it here. Ooh, Frillback, don't mind if I do. This is a little bit one of the better 3-drops in this set, since it also deals damage to the opponent when it's enraged. So that looks like a clear choice over the second Araska Frillback. Don't think we need any more fixing. I guess I can take the Stone Quarry and hopefully splash white for this Luminous Bonds. Maybe we can splash white for the Sun-Crested Pterodon. Don't think I'm taking a second Traveler's Amulet. Don't think I need a second Colossal Dreadmaw. Like, even though, I mean, I mean, since I have 2 6-drops already, could see myself splashing white. Could be feasible just to have a good removal spell. Now I guess I take another Colossal Dreadmaw. We're not splashing blue. Take a Buccaneer's Bravado as a first strike combat trick we could use. Take another Frill back just to lower the curve. No way I'm playing a Raska Raptor. Now I can take my Overgrown Armor Storm. I mean, at least we're getting all the good dinos. We're just not getting any good removal, unfortunately. So we could use, like, I don't know, some good removal in the next pack. But we'll see. This is a nice dual land for us. This is definitely decent and splashable, but I don't know how often we want to splash. This is a nice way to prevent ourselves from flooding. So I could consider the Rummaging Goblin, although we did pick up a Pirate's Pillage already. This is a fine card. Yeah, I don't mind a dual land though, but the Rummaging Goblin is also kind of tempting here, just as a creature that can help us, that can prevent flood. But it seems like we have a pretty high curve, so we don't really care about having too many lands, since we're looking to play our big dinos. And we do have a Pirate's Pillage already. So I can see myself just taking the dual land here. Overall, pack 1, pick 1 will probably just be the Imperial Aerosaur. It's not a very good pack. There's a Territorial Hammerskull too for the for the white dino decks, which is also excellent. But yeah, we'll take the Rootbound Crag. Just a giant mana rock, don't need it. There's a Crash to Ramparts. Ooh, Tillinolly's Knight, perfect. This is the perfect 2-drop for the deck. Just because it can become a 3/3 when it attacks. Perfect card. Also wouldn't mind even, like, I don't know, Commune with Dinosaurs, or like even Tishana's Wayfinder that can become a 3/3, or Crash to Ramparts to sometimes steal the game with our giant tramplers. So we'll take a Tillinolly's Knight. Huatli, okay, Huatli looks like a decent splash card. There's also Pounce as a nice removal spell for our deck. But I don't know if I can take over Huatli. Like, I mean, 0 mana, make 3/3 dinos. Definitely looking to splash it now, since I am looking kind of interested in the white splash with now Stone Quarry and the Traveler's Amulet. Yeah, this looks pretty fun. I mean, Deep Root Warrior would also be a nice 3 mana creature. 2 mana 3/3 sometimes. Sure Strike would be fine. Pounce would be pretty good in this deck. But I'm not going to pass up on the Huatli here. No way.
Your part in this story is almost over.
Guess this is like just another Raska Frillback for Ixalan. We're not Merfolk. Nah. Dinosaur Stampede's pretty strong. Ooh, that's pretty good. Yeah, with a bunch of dinos, this can actually just help close out the game, since we're looking to be quite aggressive, so I can definitely see myself playing it. Raging Raptors is a nice 3-drop for the deck. Definitely a huge improvement over the Raska Frillback. This can also help us splash for the Huatli, so that's also pretty nice. Also wouldn't mind Shining Aerosaur or Sure Strike, but could use a good 3-drop to replace these terrible Raska Frillbacks that I'm hopefully not looking to play. I think we have to take the Unfriendly Fire here since we're lacking removal. There's also Blossom Dryad that can help us like ramp a bit. Lightning Crew is a pretty good card, but we're not pirates. Could also consider Cobbled Wings, but I think we're just looking for removal here. Could see myself cutting this awful Plummets and having a nice removal spell at the top end. Commune with Dinosaurs can be fine. Don't know if we're going to end up playing it. It does help us splash and fix though, but I don't know if it's necessary. I'm not playing a 7 mana 6/9 in this deck. I guess I can, given that I have double Naya Stampede. But how much is this going to be cost? It's going to be a 6 mana creature, I guess, but that's a dream. To have a 9/9, I don't think we need a 9/9 in this deck. We should be fine. Guess I can take a dual shot, maybe. And now I can take a Rummaging Goblin in case we need to loot. But from the looks of it, looks like we need all the land we can grab. Maybe take a Blinding Fog, or maybe we'll take the Fire Cannon for the collection. Sure Strike, who Sun Crown Hunters, whenever it's dealt damage, deal 3 damage to target opponent or planeswalkers. We have Raging Regisaur to help enable Enrage. Forerunner can help enable Enrage. This is a nice payoff card as an Enrage Curve Topper, but we could just use a Sure Strike, to be honest. Like, we are lacking removal, so we could find a way to kind of like protect our creature and get a nice trade. I don't mind a Sure Strike here. Guess maybe we can cut the difference, split the difference, so to speak. Maybe have a green drop and a red drop. Our Sure Strike's better than the Buccaneer's Bravado, so I can cut the Buccaneer's Bravado now. Alright, so we're going to be like red-green splashing white for the Huatli and maybe a Luminous Bonds and 1 cut. We're definitely not going to go to 16 lands since our mana curve looks pretty high. Cards that are on a cutting block, I can see maybe cutting the Overgrown Armasaur as a clunky 5-drop. Maybe we can cut like one of these terrible 3-drops here. I think Dinosaur Stampede and Sure Strike are definitely actively good in this deck. Sometimes they can just steal a game. I'm looking forward to splashing white due to Huatli and this Luminous Bonds. In this case, I don't mind like a Stone Quarry. Raging Raptors can maybe help search a land. Traveler's Amulet can help us search a land. I think I like the Traveler's Amulet a little bit more than the Commune with Dinosaurs, since sometimes you have a decision between a dinosaur and a land and you have to take the land over it. So, it's one of these 3. And looking at our mana base, we're slightly favoring red. So I don't mind just cutting this terrible frill back, playing a copy like this, and going like this. And just playing a 17 land deck. With Pirate's Pillage can help prevent a flood in the late game. And we do kind of need to hit our land drops again, so we aren't really looking to prevent flood too much, since we have some expensive dinos to play, unless we get the Knight of the Stampede, of course. And I mean, Pirate's Pillage is a little bit better, I think, than Rummaging Goblin. Rummaging Goblin can definitely help, due to the fact that it's more permanent. But maybe we can just kind of close out the game without waiting too long with the Rummaging Goblin. I'd rather have Pirate's Pillage. It also helps us fix and ramp if necessary, so I think it's the right call. And the strength of the pack, I mean, how many creatures do we have? 14 creatures. Huatli counts as a creature because it makes a 3/3. In terms of removal, we have double Sure Strike, Luminous Bonds, and maybe like an Unfriendly Fire. So I think we have a good enough creatures. We don't need, like, I don't know, another Colossal Dreadmaw off the top, because this is quite powerful. I think definitely better than a single Colossal Dreadmaw here. So let's try something like this, and maybe 2 planes can be sufficient, just to ensure that we hit our white consistently, and slightly favoring red. So we have 7 green sources, 8 red sources. So should I add a forest or a mountain? Like, I don't mind splitting the difference, maybe. But we do have a lot of red in this deck that we're looking to cast. Like, I guess if I cut like the Frenzied Raptor and maybe put in the frill back. I guess we might want, like, I don't know, 8 green sources now, 8 red sources, and then 3 white sources. And sometimes the Traveler's Amulet can help us fix if we already have the white, red, and green sources. So I think even split is fine. Any other last minute suggestions? I do want like another giant Colossal Dreadmaw, but again, I think we can close out the game with like cards like Dinosaur Stampede and the strength of the pack, that we don't need too many beefy 6-drops. There's a chance we don't grab the Knight of the Stampede and then they just end up stuck in our hand, and we don't want too much of that going on. I mean, it's not very impressive. consider kind of the overgrown Armasaur, but still like 5 mana 4/4. I do like another Colossal Dread Maw maybe, but like Strength of the Pack is already 6 drop. This is an extra 5. This is an extra 4. Yeah, let's try something like this. Should be pretty fun. And Huatli should be our picture here. Nice way to gain life. That's pretty cool. Wow, and the minus X ability is definitely very strong. So yeah, Huatli should be pretty fun here. And yeah, we'll see. Just looking, what the hell is this? Okay, Tilani's Knight is perfect. Alright, let's do this. Alright, we have our Hardy Veteran on 2, Frillback, and then Naya the Stampede can help us once we top deck our Giant Dinos. I think this is a good keep. Even a better 3-drop. Think I'll play the Frillback first. Okay, I can't attack past. I could sure strike that away. But luckily our creatures aren't at 1 toughness. I mean, I guess the Frillback can attack past it, so we can just play that out. Raging Raptors would be better, but he's probably not going to block it next turn since he doesn't want to give me a land. I could attack and use Sure Strike, but I think that's a little bit too early, so I think I'll play out the Frillback and say go. Could have attacked and then maybe like free roll them first. I should consider free rolling opponents because sometimes they're a little bit scared. So now what? I could play out my own Knight the Stampede. Could attack with both, maybe Sure Strike, whatever I block. I don't really care about a reach creature though. I think we're fine attacking here, see what happens. This is almost a free roll at the end of the day, so I don't mind this. I could use the Sure Strike, but I think it's too early again. Just getting in for 4 is nice, and then our own Knight the Stampede can help us ramp our own dinos. So the opponent is playing the same deck. I mean, not the same deck, but the same colors. That's a good one, but we have the Sure Strike incoming. In that case, it's 2 mana, so I can just dump all my stuff here. I could just use the Stampeding, the Dinosaur Stampede. But I do prefer using the Sure Strike. I think we're fine attacking with all and see what happens. I do want to deal as much damage as possible, maybe get rid of Sun Crown Hunters if need be. I can force a Sure Strike trick here and then play out the Frilled Death Spitter and the Ranging Raptors. Maybe I'm fine with this trade. Like, I mean, I could use the Dinosaur Stampede to pump through, but this is a nice trade since he can't ramp. And I could use a Sure Strike for something better. So now we can play out the Frenzied Frilled Death Spitter. Don't have double green for this yet, but the Ranging Raptors is fine. We can even use Sure Strike on defense if need be, or take the 5 and attack next turn. He probably has something at instant speed. I don't mind taking 5 here. It's not the end of the world. And we can attack back for a ton. That's a good one. Ooh, so if I attack Evolve, I guess he can just hold off. I guess another Knight of Stampede isn't bad. I could attack with a 3-2 and use a Sure Strike to get this out of the way, and then next turn we can kind of go all in. We'll see here. He's obviously expecting it since I'm attacking with 3-2 only. I'm fine not using Sure Strike here, since he's going to take 2, but does he rather take 2 or 3? That's the only question here. I guess he'd rather take 2. Okay, so next turn we can maybe set up for nice Naya the Stampede turn. He's obviously expecting the Sure Strike here. Don't mind if I take 6. If he has Sure Strike, I'm bound to die, so let's just take it like this. And next turn we can go for the Dinosaur Stampede here and maybe run him over. Is he actually going to fight his own Sun Crown Hunters? That's funny. Okay. I can play out the Charging Tuskodon. So if I attack with all, what happens? Let's say he does his blocks. I can use the maybe the Sure Strike. I mean the Dinosaur Stampede to kind of blow him out. And then I guess I'll be taking 6. But if he has his own Sure Strike, I'm dead. So let's say we attack with all. He's gonna block the Frill Death Spitter, a 2-4, and another 2-4. We use the I mean, I could just play on the Charging Tuskodon maybe and go on, but or I can bank that he doesn't have any pump effects. But we take 3 here and he survives. That's going to be a big issue. So maybe we just hold out for a turn. Like if we attack with all, he can hold everything back. I mean, I can still block here, so maybe it's fine attacking with the Ranging Raptor since it also gives us a land. Guess we can leave back the Hardy Veteran then to block the 6-6. I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, I guess I'm forced to pull the trigger here. I could also just use the Sure Strike. Dinosaur Stampede isn't bad as well. The Sure Strike would kill this, but I think we use a Dino Stampede. And I guess a removal spell kills me here. Well, actually that's lethal. Jeez, I didn't realize that was lethal. Yeah, I guess I can't calculate. I'm pretty dumb. I forgot the Friendly Death Spitter actually does 2 damage. So yeah, it's a good 3-drop in the deck. I'm happy that I picked it up. I'm dumb, so don't mind me. I should just went for an all-out attack maybe. But I kept the 2-4 back because, you know, in case he manages to survive and that Dinosaur gets enraged, he can just attack back for 6, and that's going to be a big problem. Okay, well, till now his Knight is nice. We can play this on 4, find our Regisaur Alpha, or any other broken dinosaurs. This seems fine. We also found our white mana to cast our Huatli if we manage to find it this game. Alright, that's a decent card. I'm not going to Sure Strike into it unless he enhances it. Okay. I guess I can attack back for 2. He could have a Divine Arrow. Do I care? I mean, I might as well force his hand. I can't play defense forever. That's fine. I can kill it later. I can even offer trade with it. Guess he's staying back now. Well, that's a nice card. But I think I want to play the Forerunner first and then kill the Vampire Revenant next turn. I think, and I'll save my white to scare him. So now we can play this. Find our best dino. Tuskodon is tempting. Raging Regisaur is also very good. The Tuskodon is pretty damn good, especially if we want to get to turn 5. But the Regisaur being able to deal 1 damage to something when it attacks is pretty decent. Colossal Dreadmaw is also very good. Next turn on turn 5, I think I'm going to play a dinosaur. And maybe I just prefer... The Tuskodon is really good though. It's a must block. We have a Sure Strike. This is a nice way to mow down the 1 toughness vampires though that he might play. And also pings the opponent. I don't know. A little bit sketchy here. We're not trading here. I'm fine taking 4 in the air. Next turn play the charging Tuskodon. Clear the board, clear the 3-1, and then we can just go for a nice attack. And then we also have like a Sure Strike with it to follow up, and that can be pretty strong. Yeah, the opponent's pretty scared here. Should be. What's this? 4 mana to deal 2 damage. Yeah, it seems like a bad card. Let's just play out the Tuskodon. Okay. I mean, if he wants to shoot down my Tillinali's Knight, that's fine. I do have a Sure Strike incoming. Also have Huatli to gain me some life to stabilize. Do I plus Huatli or minus? Guess we can move the attacks first. And see what he does. Well, that's annoying. Yeah, it's gonna go. Guess I don't mind plussing here to gain some life. Nah, let's just make a dino.
Come, sing the song of fame.
Actually, that allows Enrage to be triggered. So, yeah, that's nice. Sure. Guess I can then friendly fire the Exalted Skymarch since that's his last creature. And I should be able to close this game out. Yep. Well, the Knight, Death Spitter. Yep, let's keep this. But they always have a 1-drop in this set. That's a fine card, but we can definitely attack past it. Definitely not trading for this 2/2 since we're going to beat down harder. Could fire off a Sure Strike next turn just to maybe get rid of this Legion Conquistador that's in the way. But he's just going to get more of them, which is annoying. Yep. We can play the Charging Tuskodon later. Think we go for the attack. I could save the Sure Strike for the Charging Tuskodon, but I think it's fine just attacking the Vol and seeing what the opponent does here. Sure Strike would be pretty nice. Do I want to do it now? It does preserve my Dino. And I can still play my 5-drop next turn. Yeah, let's just let the damage happen. And then maybe like the Sure Strike is better to Charging Tuskodon maybe since it has Trample. It's keeping everything back. Guess he's missing on his land drops, so he's just trying to play a bunch of stuff. Okay. Let's play out the Tuskodon. Hopefully we don't flood out here. And then we can... I don't mind trading. Just to get rid of 2 of his creatures. Sure. Well, I'm a little bit in a pickle. If he gets an Impale, I'm going to be in big trouble. I'm not going to attack into this. He could have a Divine Arrow here. He's keeping up. Ooh, Huatli. Just need the white mana. Okay, so let's say he doesn't. Let's play out the land. Let's attack. Let's see what happens. Let's say he doesn't block. What happens? I can use a Dinosaur Stampede. That's 12 damage. And then Sure Strike is lethal. Yep, 18 to the face. I would have been in big trouble if the opponent had a removal, since I didn't have a board, apparently. But yeah, Sure Strike getting the job done. Not the best removal spell by any means, and it's kind of clunky of our dinosaurs, but sometimes just winning a fight with it is decent enough. Like our only removals like what? Luminous Bonds, double Sure Strike, and the Unfriendly Fire. Like, this is essentially it, so to speak. I guess Amulet, Pirate's Pillage, Ranging Raptors, Help Us Splash, and Double Plains. Yeah, last game we just had Huatli in our hand, and if we didn't get white mana, I would have been pretty pissed. But we stole the game there. Just pumped up your giant Tuskodon and smashed through. Okay. Decent curve, 2-drop. Ooh, this is really nice. Just need our white mana for Huatli if we top deck it, essentially. So we can curve 2-drop into 3-drop into 4-drop, essentially. Ooh, white mana. Okay. Let's get our Huatli on 5 again and steal the game. Okay, a barrier. Well, I could free roll here, but he's probably going to block, but I'm still going to do it. Guess I don't mind playing out the frill back here, since it attacks past the wall. Okay. Let's move to combat. Probably going to take 4, which is nice. You could have a Hornswoggle here. So maybe I just play out the Death Spitter. Or the Hardy Veteran. I wouldn't mind a second Hardy Veteran. If he counters, yeah, we'll bait it out with a Hardy Veteran. I don't really want the Raging Regisaur to get countered here. Or the Death Spitter, because they're better cards. Alright, there's a cancel. Knew it. But the opponent hasn't developed the board here. He's probably running another counter spell. In that case, I think I should maybe play out the Death Spitter instead. This time. Let's see what he tries here. Okay. Does he have a trick? Okay, he might just be using this to ramp. Right, I guess this time we just play out the Death Spitter. I'm not going to play out the Raging Regisaur again into another counter spell. Okay. Next turn we can play Strength of the Pack or play out Raging Regisaur depending on what the opponent puts on the battlefield, and this would be pretty powerful. I mean, if we get our land drop, that is. But we essentially just had the perfect curve this entire game. Is there any flash tricks? I guess there's a 5-mana 3/3 flash guy, but everything attacks past it. Even the 2-power creature becomes a 0/4. The opponent's just passing his turn all the time. I don't know what he's keeping up. This is a little bit weird and concerning here. You could have like a bounce trick that makes me like put the creature on top of my deck. In that case, do I want to play Strength here? It's pretty powerful. Or I can play the Regisaur first. It's probably a bounce trick. But this is still pretty good. Alright. I don't think he has enough mana to deal with all this. Obviously it's a bounce trick, I think. Sure. You're still taking 9. I think the opponent should be dead. Yep. So it seems like he was playing some blue-white Ascend deck, I think. But he didn't have his white mana for the Divine Verdict. Currently 4-0. Let's get our 7 wins. Okay, this is a little bit concerning. We have no creatures, we have our Luminous Bonds. Do we risk it here? Like, we could get run over. Not the most amazing hand, but we do have the white splash for Luminous Bonds to get going. I think I'll risk it. Hopefully we top deck some 2-drops or 3-drops. Nope. Could have sacked this end of turn. I don't know what he... Game maybe he was thinking about what he would draw. Alright, this is concerning. I'm not playing anything, which is bad. I have all these interaction spells with no creatures. Opponent's also playing red-green dinos, I think. I'm not going to Luminous Bonds a 2/2 or a 3/3 here. What's going on? I might Luminous Bonds next turn, just so I can develop my Colossal Dreadmaw and prevent myself from taking 1,000,000 damage. Let's see what he plays. Yeah, I shouldn't have kept this hand. I'm regretting it. But the opponent's playing some weird green Explore deck. Okay. Yeah. Damn, I should have just mulliganed. Well, I was banking on this actually being a decent card for the deck. I guess I can Pirate's Pillage. Play my 6-drop, hope it doesn't die next turn. I think we just want to mitigate as much damage as possible. So go. Not very efficient use of removal, but now he probably has a larger creature. It's not as bad, but still pretty bad for me. Guess I can hold the ground now. Maybe I can discard Sure Strike or land with the Pirate's Pillage, and hopefully, probably has a Sure Strike since he's attacking the 4/4, so that's pretty odd. No blocks. Guess we can save the Sure Strike for next turn and play defense. Definitely looking to play defense now. Guess I'll play the Knight, keep up double Sure Strike. Hopefully he doesn't have some weird trample trick here. He probably does. I mean, he has 1,000,000 mana open. This guy's in red-green. Yeah, this hand was pretty bad. I shouldn't have kept it. Well, that's not bad. I'll let the Tilonali's Knight resolve. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's a little bit bad since... Okay, that's okay. I'd rather have the... I hope the opponent attacks here. He doesn't. Okay. Smart of the opponent. Now I guess I can develop my Armasaur or even Pirate's Pillage it away. I could also use my Strength for the pack. But the Armasaur isn't bad. But I guess I would be trading here if I played out. Maybe the Pirate's Pillage discarding the Armasaur isn't a bad idea. Like, we could still keep up land and have double Sure Strike open. Maybe take 6, I don't know. It's a little bit sketchy. The opponent's just way ahead than us. The Armasaur probably isn't going to do much. I'll probably have to take 6, but that's okay. Let's discard. Land is good. I could cast the Regisaur Alpha here, but it's not going to do much, so I think we just say go. Okay. Opponent's developing the board. I'm not doing anything. I guess I can develop my own board later enough. Okay. Guess I can still keep up 1 Sure Strike, so it's not the end of the world. Do I mind attacking here and using a Sure Strike? Nah, let's just stay back. I do have Strength with the pack next turn to make all my dinos, all my creatures large, so that's pretty nice. So now what? Guess I can block like this. Maybe block like this. Take 4. We'll see what the opponent does here. Cover Sure Strike. Okay, I could Sure Strike this back. This is interesting. The question is, do I want to save my Regisaur, my Raging Regisaur, or my Colossal Dreadmaw? Probably my Colossal Dreadmaw, since it's the bigger creature. And I can easily take 4. Then I can grow all my dinos here next turn. Doesn't seem bad. And we can use strength of the pack now. Do I attack with all? I think I keep the 8/8 back and I just swing with both of these. That way I have 2 on defense to block these 2. Only dinosaurs gain haste, so I think I'm in good shape. I can definitely alpha next turn, and essentially maybe blow him out. I'm afraid of this Found Fleet border though. So let's say I have attack with all. This is a lot of damage. He can still chump block like here, here, and take this, and then he can pump up to 6. So I should be careful here. Let's move to attacks. I guess I can attack with 2 of these. And that's okay since that's lethal and that could scare him, so we'll try something like this. Sure Strike is a complete blowout. Okay. I think I want to kill maybe the Hunt Masters first, since he can give a dinosaur haste. And he's forced to pump the brand just to trade for the Tilonali's Knight, which is pretty nice. Yep, alright. Sure Strike getting the job done. That game was a little bit bad for me since I essentially didn't develop the board for like 5 whole turns while the opponent was doing so. So I don't know if I should have lost that game. The opponent, maybe if he had his own first strike, Sure Strikes, he would have maybe stole the game there, but Sure Strike definitely does nice with giant tramplers. Alright, so currently 5-0. Nice Naya Dino deck. Let's keep playing. Alright, still another sketchy hand. We're on the play. I mean, we can go Knight into Dreadmaw if we get our second Forest. Don't really want to, ooh, well, that's a nice turn 4. Let's try to surprise the opponent with our green mana and not play everything out. But now I'm fine playing it. Okay, so the Forerunner can maybe find our Regisaur Alpha. That's a fine card. Let's see here. Might be correct to play the Knight next turn. since we can play a turn 5 Colossal Dreadmaw. And if we play the Forerunner, we'd be looking for a charging Tuskodon, I think, or the Regisaur Alpha. I don't mind the Tuskodon. We can surprise him by holding up the green mana here. I mean, not the Tuskodon, the Colossal Dreadmaw. And we're not here to trigger any enrage or anything, so we don't really care about playing the Forerunner of the Legion. Just want to get my big Dino out. But we gotta play around Counterspell, so that's something to also keep in mind. Okay, that's a fine card. There's a turn I could Forerunner and then cast both Dinos to kill this. Like, let's say I cast the Forerunners and then I guess I won't be able to cast 2 Dinos in the same turn, so yeah, I think the Colossal Dreadmaw might be correct. Just so I can start beating down. Could have his own removal spell here, like a Water Knot, I'm assuming. Alright. That's a bummer. So maybe we have to set up a turn where we Forerunners and essentially kill the Solder Rapids. Maybe I'm fine sure striking this 2/4 way since it's being really annoying. Yeah, let's get rid of it. And I think we might need a charging Tuskodon to close out the game since we do want to do a shit ton of damage. We're not looking to ping anything since his toughness seems pretty high. This is fine, but you know, it's not that great. We'll take a charging Tuskodon. And hopefully we can kind of close out the game by playing our big Dino and hitting him for a ton. We also have a unfriendly fire to deal 5 damage, so could keep up like Counterspell here. That would be pretty annoying. Okay, that's not bad. I guess I can still cast my Tuskodon anyways. He could have. I think the right target was to Reaver ambush the Forerunner. Don't need to deal 1 to each. We'll just attack in for 1. He could have a Divine Arrow then, but Regisaur Alpha still doesn't survive it, so gotta keep that in mind. Ooh. Ooh, wow. Yeah, I forgot this. You can return any target non-land permanent, so he's definitely out-tempoing me. Spire Wander is annoying, but hopefully I can get white mana to keep it down. I can lock it down next turn. I guess we're going to lose to our first opponent playing Flyers. He's going to hit me for 5, but next turn... I mean, I don't think he's going to get the City's Blessing, hopefully not. Oh, he did. Okay, so... I guess it's still a 3-turn clock since it's 6, and then I'm going to be down to 5. I can lock this down, and then he needs to hit me twice with the Solder Rapids to win the game. White mana is good, so now I can play Luminous Bonds. Well, that's annoying. Guess Unfriendly Fire wouldn't have done the job either. Guess it's game over. I can try this, but it's not going to do anything. Yeah, the opponent just had all the answers this game. Wow, very close, but I think if we managed to lock this down, I think we would have won, but dive down was really good, so. Perilous Voyage, I thought it only targeted mana cost 2 or less, but I wasn't reading it properly, so it's definitely a great card. Gotta keep that in mind the next time I do another Rivals of Ixalan draft, since I rated it pretty poorly. That game was pretty difficult. Maybe we should have saved the Sure Strike. Like, could have saved the Sure Strike and then the Dinosaur Stampede, and maybe that could have killed him instead of using it early on the Sailor of Means just to get, like, I don't know, 2 damage across. It was pretty bad. Okay, 2-drop and a 3-drop. Well, we just need to top deck 2 lands, I guess, to hit our 5 drops, but this is a curve. We'll love to tap land, but we can play this on turn 4. Because I do want to develop the board. This can trade for any dinosaur. I don't think I care. We'll just attack it for 2. If he wants to trade for my Death Spitter, go ahead. I'm actually fine with this trades, since I want to open up for bigger dinos in the future. Yeah, let's trade this off. He's going to be a bit of a nuisance against these other dinos that I'm about to play. Since we can kill the big dinos. Alright, that's fine. Tilnali's Knight is good, and then we can play the tapped dual land. Could have considered attacking, but that's okay. I might be fine trading the Tilnali's Knight too for the Jungle Creeper, although he could get it back on turn 5. I just want to get rid of this, I guess. I mean, I could keep this around. He's spending his whole turn just to ramp. I could Luminous Bonds it. I think I prefer to play out the Overgrown Armasaur. So let's attack with both. I think I'm... Oh crap. That's a bad play. Since he gets to eat the Tilnali's Knight for free. Or he thinks this is a trick. But yeah, that was a bad play. Yeah, I should play the Armasaur first. Huge misplay there. Lost a 2-2 for no reason. Now if he kills this Armasaur, it's going to be a big problem. Could have a trick here. I think we just play everything out. We just go in. I mean, he's leaving up all his mana, obviously, for something. But if he wants to try something here, go ahead. I mean, still trading. I still make a 1-1. He still needs to... He still needs to pay mana to get this back. And we're still up ahead right now. Okay. Okay. He's gonna eventually get this back, but my 4/4 can attack past it. I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm better off locking down the Jungle Creeper. Now I could just attack here with both and use this Dinosaur Stampede to pave across the room. I don't mind that. Like, we essentially just need to close out the game here. So we'll use the Dinosaur Stampede. The next turn it should be lethal. Even if he puts up the Jungle Creeper, because I have the Luminous Bonds to lock it down. And hopefully he taps out for it, and he is, so that's a good sign. Alright, so yeah, currently 6-1. Nice Luminous Bond Splash. Red-green Dinos. Trample over, smash, smash, smash. Easy game plan. Not much else to know. Yeah, this deck has been overperforming. Alright, so let's review the deck before we head into the final boss. 17 lands, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, with 3 white sources to splash for at least the Luminous Bonds and the Huatli. And then favoring red slightly, but we're keeping even splits because it's almost even, to be honest, with what we're given with these double green and our double reds. Splashing for Luminous Bonds since we're lacking removal, and Huatli so we can have a nice bomb in the late game. Removal spells included in Friendly Fire, Luminous Bonds. We're using Sure Strike, Double Sure Strike as a combat trick, and pseudo removal spell. The Amulet's also a way to help fix our mana. Pirate's Pillage can also help us ramp and fix our mana, but it's more likely than not just a way to prevent ourselves from flooding out. We're not really concerned about flooding because again we're using up our mana quite efficiently with our expensive curve. Dinosaur Stampede is also a way to close out the game. That's been quite impressive. Decent number of 2s, decent number of 3s. The 4s are kind of stacked, but the Night of Stampedes provide us some nice value by discounting our giant creatures that we are looking to play. Other considerations, we could add in a Colossal Dreadmaw maybe, cut the Overgrown Armor Source since it's not a very impressive creature overall, but still a fine creature to play at 5 nonetheless. One could consider maybe Plummet to deal with flyers, but that's more like a sideboard consideration. Usually the game plan is that our creatures are big and beefy enough to attack and hit pretty hard that the opponent is forced to put their flyers in front of our creatures to block. Commune is also reasonable to help us flash and fix for our land drops or find a dinosaur in the late game, but the Traveler's Amulet is guaranteed to find our white mana that we need for our splash colors. Rummaging Goblin is decent to help us loot, of course, since it's more of like a permanent that can continually start doing it, but I don't think we're trying to slow ourselves down. The problem with this card is it is Dream Mana, essentially do nothing. And we are looking to play plenty of lands to play our creatures, so we don't want to use the loot effect right away, while the Pirate's Pillage is something that gives us a little bit more options in the future by getting rid of a late land drop that we might not want. And it's faster since it can dig you 2 cards deeper than getting 1 for turn. Could consider the Frenzied Raptor over the Araska Frillback, but I think if we do that, we're only going to make us want a little bit more. We're going to have to maybe like add in an extra mountain, which I don't want. I want to keep it evenly split. It seems like most of the double red cards are like the Charting Tuskodon is a lot cheaper. I think putting this Frenzy Raptor would kind of skew the mana base a little bit. Since we're already heavy red, we could add an extra green creature just to have a balance in our mana base colors, I guess, so we don't like get screwed on the color, so to speak. I don't know how to explain it. There's Buckner's Bravado as a first strike trick, but it's better off in the Pirates deck where you can gain double strike with the second ability. Just using 2 mana, giving a creature +3/+0 in first strike is a huge difference from the Buccaneers Bravado. We don't need a dual shot since we have the Forerunner of the Empire that enables the raid, the rage trigger by dealing 1 to every creature, so there's no need for dual shot for that. Regisaur Alpha. Raging Register also deals 1 damage whenever it attacks to any target, including the opponent and the opponent's creature. So, I mean, yeah, the only consideration I would consider is the Overgrown Armosaur, maybe replacing it with a Colossal Dreadmaw. But we already have like Strength of the Pack as a nice 6-drop and Colossal Dreadmaw already. And I don't want to get the curve too incredibly high. Even though we have Double Knight of the Stampede, it's not like we have like it's not like we're guaranteed to ramp every single game. So overall, I think it's this is a pretty cool deck, and I'm happy to see us get 6-1 and potentially 7. Also, there's a Suncrested Pterodon we could consider splashing, but I think with a red-green Rampy Dino deck, we just want giant creatures to smash through. This is fine in red-white dinos. I mean, they're same with Relentless Raptor, but we're not splashing for a 2-drop. This is a card you want to play exactly on 2. And if you don't get the white mana, it's kind of like a dead card in your hand in the late games as well. So overall, I think it's a well-rounded deck. It's pretty strong. It's pretty fun. Sometimes it can just steal the game with the Charging Tuskodon and the combat tricks and the Dinosaur Stampede. There was definitely a couple of the first game I definitely played. I didn't realize I had lethal as well. But yeah, let's continue on. Meet our final boss, and yep, finish this draft. And the last boss has to be Merfolk, right? I'm assuming it's a 1,000,000-1/1 Merfolks. This isn't bad. We don't have any early game, but at least the Traveler's Amulet can help us find our white source. So it's a bit of a slow hand, but as long as we're on the draw, I think we can try this. We can find our white source next turn. The problem with these amulets is that they kind of deny your turn 2 play, but it's okay in this scenario. We'll get our white mana in play since he already knows that we have it in our hand, and we don't want to reveal too many secrets to the opponent. Opponent might be thinking we're a white-green Dino deck, of course. I do want to use the Pirate's Pillage this game. I'm fine Luminous Bonds this, since I don't want to take 3. And right now I'm not finding any playables. Next turn we could just ditch the Mountain, maybe. I should have played the Mountain out this turn, I think. But we also have a Colossal Dreadmaw in the deck that we want to deal with, but now we top deck our 3rd Mountain, so now I'm fine ditching one of them. And then Tuskodon can be played next turn. We could also consider playing the Knight and then the Tuskodon. I don't know if that works. I guess it's going to cost 4 mana, and we will only have 7 open, so we're not going to have the mana for it. So do I want to play out the Tuskodon? Not into all this mana. He's definitely bound to have removal spells. So maybe we can just play out the Knight of Stampede since we can drop our 6 drops anyways. Opponent's in black, red pirates, so he's looking to be quite aggressive here. Even a Rummaging Goblin to prevent him from find playables later. Okay. So this is interesting. I can play out the Charging Tuskodon and keep up a Hardy Veteran to trade. I can play out the Knight of the Stampede and keep up the Hardy Veteran. I could also keep up Sure Strike, maybe. I don't mind having the Hardy Veteran to maybe trade with the Phantom Fleet Firebrand. The question is, do we play out the Charging Tuskodon? Like, he could have a removal spell that we need to deal with. So having him spend his mana to essentially deal with the Knights is better. And I'm fine just now. I mean, I guess I can play the Charging Tuskodon now. I do want to trade for this Firebrand though, with the Hardy Veteran instead of the Knight. So we'll take it slow. We'll cast the Hardy Veteran instead. You can start looting away the Rummaging Goblin. I could kill the Rummaging Goblin if I think it's being a bit of a nuisance. Definitely playing the trade here with the 2/2. Bit of a strange attack. He could have a Buccaneer's Bravado. In that case, I don't mind just blocking the 2/2 here. Could double block. Let's say he has Buccaneer's Bravado. I guess he can kill my 2/2. I don't know. Let's block like this. Okay. I guess one of my creatures still survive. So that's not as bad. I mean, it's still 1-for-1. I guess, I mean, I still... never mind, let's just play this out. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna play a dual land since I have Sure Strike active. And I can use the Sure Strike if he tries any First Strike shenanigans again. He's probably gonna use a Rummaging Goblin end of turn or something. He probably is holding on to another removal spell or a combat trick, I think. That's a good one. I can use Sure Strike, I guess, to kill off a pirate. I guess I could use Unfriendly Fire at instant speed if he tries anything here. I could attack and go for 8, and then I can block off the Phantom Fleet border, or I can just use double Sure Strike and kill him. That's also a consideration, like... So how much damage is this? This is essentially 20 damage if it goes unblocked. And we also have Unfriendly Fire to deal with it, to essentially blow him out, I think, if he goes for a double block or anything here. So this is good, okay. I think we just win here, so he's going to be 10 damage, so we can get him to 20, so we'll just do this. Use a Sure Strike. I don't think there's any one-mana tricks he can use here. Then we'll use another one, and I think this is lethal. Yep. Alright, Charging Tuskodon, MVP. Only got Huatli out 2 games, but Charging Tuskodon managed to steal them. Since the opponent decides not to block, the double Sure Strike would do 20 damage to him, so he should just consider blocking, but it would have been a disaster anyway, since the Sure Strike would essentially just kill everything that the opponent has. So yeah, nice 7-1 Naya Dinos, a new tribe for you guys to look at in the Rivals draft if you're interested. And yeah, let's claim our prize. Should have let's take a dumb snapshot of this actually. Yeah, let's take a dumb snapshot of this. I forgot to take a picture for the thumbnail. And Ixalan pack 1 pick 1. Let's pretend we're drafting. Ooh. Gishath, Sun's Avatar. This is very expensive. But hey, in green dinos, you can definitely ramp and splash, as we saw in the current draft. So whenever it deals combat damage to a player, okay, reveal that many cards, put any number of dinosaur creature from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library anywhere. Yeah, this is definitely a bomb. Definitely a powerful build around. But it is multicolored, but pretty fun if you can pick up the rampy dinos. And yeah, this is a cool card. I don't mind first picking. There's also Perilous Voyage. I forgot to read this card. I thought this only targeted converted mana cost 2 or less, but it seems like it can target any non-land permanent. And if it's mana cost 2 or less, you scry 2. So this is a very good uncommon, since it's very cheap and efficient. Also other good cards. There is Skymarch Bloodletter for any vampire deck, since it's a nice evasive threat on turn 3 and also drains the opponent. Siren Lookout's also pretty strong if it manages to explore, that is. If it doesn't, it's just like a mopey 3-mana 1/2 flyer. So I guess it's not that impressive. Favorable wins is for the blue-white Ascend deck in this set. So you kind of need to be committed to that entire archetype to get your payoff with this. But it's kind of a risky strategy because you're kind of going all in and, you know, yeah, it's kind of risky because you're going all in and you're missing up on like a Perilous Voyage that you rather have in the Flyers deck anyways. Even though this does buff your Flyers, it doesn't buff ground creatures, which you do also play in the flying deck. But I wouldn't mind taking Gishath and having fun with it. Ooh. this is a good one. Yeah, you can just enable as we saw in the last draft. Dinos or swords are trying to enable enrage by dealing damage to themselves. And if this manages to get pinged once, drawing a card is nice, and a 4-mana 4/5 is definitely a difficult body to deal with. So a great card that can steal the game. Vine Shaper Mystic is also excellent. Just a nice creature with a decent relevant stat line, and it can put counters on self too, so that's pretty powerful. Yeah, this is really good. Commons are okay. I do like Storm Sculptor, like in a Tempo Murloc deck, just being able to bounce like a good permanent with an ETB ability, and then this being unblockable can be a powerful, serviceable win condition in the late game. But yeah, nice draft. Let's look over the deck again. I do want to take a picture of it. Why didn't I? I think I saved it. Let's see. Ooh, there it is. Yeah, I did save it. So this could also be our thumbnail. Just move the combat tricks and all the interaction out of the way. And then Huatli is pretty much our bomb. Even though Huatli didn't, we didn't see Huatli much, maybe only in 2 games. She still was scary enough to make the opponent concede and generate dinos constantly. So yeah, she's a really good card, as you can tell from the first game. So, yep, that about wraps it. I might fire off another Rivals draft depending on how I feel. And I think we've explored almost every single tribe already. We haven't done all the colors. Like we haven't done any blue-black Ascend deck yet, or white-blue Ascend. We haven't done green-white Dinos. We've done blue-green Merfolk. We've done the vampires already. We've done the red-black aggro pirates. Now we just done the red-green dinos with a splash of white. So, you know, definitely missing some archetypes. And they're definitely a little bit weaker. The controlling decks are not where you want to be in Rivals of Ixalan, since the aggressive decks just can just dominate the board really quickly. Too quickly that your removal spells might not catch up with them. So yeah, I might upload more content. We'll see. And in the meantime, have fun and take care.